Today I'm going to introduce you to our first unit, which is Government in Action. You have this paper book in the bag that you received from your 4th grade teacher during transition days. So Government in Action is a really interesting unit that we will be starting with. It talks all about how our government is formed, what levels of the government there are, what the government does, and how the government helps us. So our focus question or essential question is, how can the government influence the way we live? We're going to start by watching a video that kind of breaks this down for us and makes us think in a different way.
Government in action. Picture our nation without a president to lead us, or without Congress to make laws that protect us. We would not elect governors to manage our states, or mayors to run our city. We might not have any leaders or laws at all. Without government, our lives would be very different. How can government influence the way we live?
So the government obviously has a huge influence on the way we live. And we are going to read multiple stories this week and next week that help us think about how the government influences our lives. This is our whole first unit. So the first one is solving problems. This story talks about economic and natural disasters that may happen that we may need the government's help to support us through it. The first town meeting is a fiction story about a group of people who are coming out of a bad situation and need help from another community. And the leaders of that community have to decide whether they're going to help them or not. Then we're going to be reading Saving Yellowstone. Yellowstone is a national park that is beautiful, and we're going to learn about how national parks were created to make sure that the nature is saved and not touched by humans. The state government and its citizen is all about our state government in Illinois and the 3 branches of government and the different things and jobs the state government has to do to ensure our safety, for our education, how we get around, and how they deal with emergencies and disasters. 50 States Plus is about how our United States is not just made out of 50 states, but we also have territories and districts that contribute to our country. Then we're reading an excerpt from the story Holes. Maybe you've seen the movie or heard of it before. It is a great story about a young boy who got himself in some trouble and involves the law and how the legal system impacts people in our country. Finally, the last story we're going to read in Unit 1 is called Go Bontano, which is a science fiction story of a leader in outer space. And she's a leader of the planet looking down at Earth, deciding whether she wants to run for a government position or not. It's very interesting, and this unit is a nice mix of fiction and nonfiction stories to help us think about how the government influences our lives.